13. Youngest women's wrestlers on the WWE main roster, ranked by age. These are the youngest female wrestlers currently being featured on WWE Raw and SmackDown. Throughout the history of professional wrestling, wrestlers peak at different stages of their careers. Some are at the top of their games when they burst onto the scene and lay down a marker with several championship reigns. However, some wrestlers need a few years to hone their craft and mature. WWE has seen many wrestlers come through their doors at an early age and exceed expectations by having a remarkable run in the early years of their careers. WWE's women's roster featured a mixture of youth and experience. Some women's wrestlers are so talented that they bypassed NXT and began their careers on the main roster. The young guns are fearless, and some of the youngest female wrestlers that compete on Raw and SmackDown have won championships already, and some are destined to get their hands on gold in the future. WWE's women's roster across the board on Raw, SmackDown, and NXT is filled with outstanding in-ring competitors. Women's wrestling was overlooked for many years, but under Triple H's creative has made strides in improving the women's division. The WWE Women's Championship and the Women's World Championship are the key championships that women would like to get their hands on. The women's tag team division hasn't always been the strongest, but the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship can be defended on all three brands. Furthermore, age is just a number, and some of the youngest women's wrestlers on the main roster have proved that they can hang with the veterans. For sure, some young female wrestlers are honing their skills, and the locker room is supportive of each other where younger talent can ask their counterparts for advice. 13. Jade Cargill is in store for a stellar 2024. Age: 31 years old. Jade Cargill signed for WWE in 2023 from AEW and made her in-ring debut in the 2024 Women's Royal Rumble match. Cargill has partnered with Bianca Belair, and they look set to defeat the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship at Backlash France. Cargill had an impressive WrestleMania debut when she teamed up with Belair and Naomi to defeat damaged CTRL's Dakota Kai and the Kabuki Warriors. Cargill is only 31 and will be looking to rack up some accolades to her name early in her WWE career. 12. Alba Fyre has been drafted to Raw. Age: 31 years old. Alba Fyre and Isla Dawn were drafted to SmackDown in the 2023 draft lottery as the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. They lost a title unification match to the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. That was Fyre's final match on SmackDown for 7 months until January 2024 when they had a shot at Katana Chance and Kaden Carter's WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Fyre and Dawn have been drafted to Raw in the 2024 draft lottery and the longest reigning NXT UK Women's Champion. In history, at 649 days, will be looking to add some tag team gold to her cabinet with Dawn. 11. Valhalla is currently pregnant with her second child. Age: 30 years old. Unquestionably, Valhalla, formerly known as Sarah Logan, has gone backwards. Valhalla fared better when she was a member of the Riot Squad. Valhalla managed her real-life husband Eric's tag team partner Ivar when Eric was on the injury shelf. Valhalla suffered the humiliation by lasting just 5 seconds in the 2024 Women's Royal Rumble match, which is a record for the shortest time spent in a Women's Royal Rumble match. It's hard to believe that Valhalla is still just 30 years old, and she hasn't clinched any championships in her WWE career, which is unlikely to change. Valhalla has recently announced that she is pregnant with her second child. 10. Sonya Deville is currently on the shelf and got married. Age: 30 years old. Sonya Deville isn't just one of the youngest female wrestlers on the main roster, she's one of the tallest. Deville stands at 5 feet 7 inches, and at 30, Deville still has plenty of time on her side. Unfortunately, Deville has torn her ACL, which will keep her on the sidelines for some time, but she recently got married to Tony Cassano. Deville finally got some silverware on her resume as she teamed up with Chelsea Green to win the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Deville is easy to dislike as she was an assistant authority figure to Adam Pearce, and fans loved it when she got her comeuppance. 9. Zoe Stark has shined since moving to the main roster. Age: 30 years old. Zoe Stark packs a punch, and she has impressed since being drafted from NXT to Raw in the 2023 draft lottery. Stark doesn't look out of place on the main roster, and WWE Hall of Famer Trish Stratus took Stark under her wing for a few months. Stark ended her alliance with Trish at Payback 2023, and she began teaming up with Shayna Baszler. Stark and the Queen of Spades are a fantastic tag team, and it wouldn't be surprising to see them capture the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. 8. Isla Dawn will be looking to make an impact on Raw. Age, 30 years old. Isla Dawn is another wrestler who moved from NXT to the main roster in the 2023 draft lottery. Dawn was one half of the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions alongside Alba Fire. But they lost to Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler in a title unification match for the WWE Tag Team Championship. Dawn recently turned 30, and she has time on her side to succeed on the main roster. Dawn and Fire are now called the Unholy Union, and they challenged Katana Chance and Caden Carter for the WWE Tag Team Championship, but they were unable to get the job done. The Unholy Union was drafted to Raw on the April 26, 2024 edition of SmackDown. 7. Liv Morgan is currently on her revenge tour. Age, 29 years old. Liv Morgan deserves a lot of credit for her improvement inside the squared circle. And feuding with Becky Lynch at the end of 2021 and beginning of 2022 over the Raw Women's Championship helped her. Morgan has been around in WWE for several years, and she is still only 29. Morgan has achieved a lot as a former SmackDown Women's Champion and a two-time WWE Women's Tag Team Champion. She has finished as a runner-up in the Women's Royal Rumble match in back-to-back years in 2023 and 2024, which is a fantastic achievement. And Morgan will be looking to add some more accolades to her resume. 6. Tegan Nox has been teaming up with Natalya in recent months. Age, 29 years old. Tegan Nox was released from her WWE contract in 2021, but she returned to the company a year later by feuding with Damage CTRL. Nox became a member of Raw, and she began teaming up with former SmackDown Women's Champion Natalya in the fall of 2023. Nox is 29 years old, and she has a lot of time to have a successful WWE career. The Women's Royal Rumble match is every woman for herself, and she eliminated Natalya from the Rumble. Nox and Natalya had the chance to win the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, but they were unable to unseat Chelsea Green and Piper Niven for the gold. 5. Indy Hartwell's injury problems are behind her. Age, 27 years old. Indy Hartwell has the unwanted record of being the shortest reigning NXT Women's Champion at 31 days, but it was for a good reason. Hartwell was drafted from NXT to Raw in the 2023 draft lottery, which is why she relinquished the NXT Women's Championship. Hartwell sustained an ankle injury, which is why she was out of action for 3 months. Those injury problems are behind her now, and she has been teaming up with Candice LeRae, who she held the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship with in NXT. Hartwell will be hoping to make an impact on the main roster at just 27 years of age. Hartwell had one of the proudest moments of her career as she teamed up with LeRae and challenged Damage CTRL's Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship at Elimination Chamber 2024 in front of her hometown fans in Australia. 4. Rhea Ripley has shown why mommy is always on top. Age, 27 years old. Rhea Ripley was undoubtedly the best women's wrestler on WWE's roster in 2023. The Eradicator had a dominant year as she won the 2023 Women's Royal Rumble match from the unenviable #1 position. She converted her Rumble win by beating Charlotte Flair to win the SmackDown Women's Championship, renamed the Women's World Championship, to complete her set as a Grand Slam champion. Ripley has gone from strength to strength as the Judgment Day cemented their dominance on Raw by all 4 members holding gold in 2023. Ripley has set her standards high for the group, and the 27-year-old still has many years ahead of her to achieve more wonderful things in WWE. Unfortunately, mommy is on the shelf with a shoulder injury which forced her to relinquish the Women's World Championship after WrestleMania 40, bringing her 380-day Women's World Championship reign to a halt. 3. Maxine Dupree continues to thrive in Alpha Academy. Age, 26 years old. The Maximum Male Models faction didn't do anything to elevate anyone, but mercifully Maxine Dupree had a second bite at the cherry by joining Alpha Academy. Dupree isn't an in-ring technician by any stretch, but with more matches under her belt, she will inevitably improve. Dupree has wrestled sporadically, but under the wing of Chad Gable will do her a world of good. Dupree is only 26 years young, and the only way is up for Dupree, who had a chance to get herself into the title picture, but she lost to Rhea Ripley in a non-title bout. 2. Kiana James will be looking to stamp down her authority on Raw. Age: 26 years old. Kiana James signed for WWE in 2022, and she competed on NXT. James has been a remarkable heel in NXT, and she had a brief rivalry with Becky Lynch, who was the NXT Women's Champion. James is 25 years old and held the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship with Fallon Henley. On the April 26, 2024 edition of Smackdown, James was called up to the main roster as she was drafted to Raw. It's a huge opportunity in James's career to make an impact on the Red brand. Tiffany Stratton is destined for greatness. Age: 24 years old. Tiffany Stratton had a successful run in NXT as she clinched the NXT Women's Championship. Months later, she cemented her spot as a SmackDown competitor. Stratton saw off Mission in her first match on SmackDown, which was the perfect start to Stratton's main roster career. Stratton can talk on the mic, and she's a solid in-ring performer, which are qualities to succeed on the main roster. Stratton is only 24 years of age, and she has a lot of time to get better and better, and not in the too distant future a championship run could be on the cards for her.